use this to wash paintbrushes. They don't use it anymore, so don't worry about it. It says yum, that's good. It's already kind of stained on the inside. I don't care. Okay. So we're gonna just put a little bit of this into the cup because it's easier than trying to, you know, do that. So I just put it in here, and then I can just dip my brushes into it. I'm not gonna bother with gloves this time. Okay. I don't know how much to do. Okay, that's good. It looks like tea. I really don't need much. If you enjoy this video, my younger son said he would love if I did something like this for him. He said, I want one. I have plenty of that linseed oil left. I may actually go see if I can find something for him like this to stain. So now we're going in with our second coat. The first coat has had plenty of time to soak in or do whatever it wants to do. So we're going to go along with the second one. I don't really think it's going to look all that different though. Yeah, not really. I did want to make a comment about something that I said yesterday. I thought about it afterwards. I said that people often ask me for relationship advice, and I say, you know, I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice, you know. But then I thought about it, I thought, well, I do actually have one piece of advice, though. From my own personal experience, it really sits on the top. It's not soaking in like it did last time. Not quite like it did. The first coat, that wood just soaked it up. Just from my experience, I would tell you that if you have a history of bad relationships, toxic, dysfunctional, whatever, I think it would do you some good, because I had to do this, to do some soul searching and try to figure out, you know, is there a common factor in these relationships? Well, there actually is a common factor. It's you. You are the common denominator in these relationships. So what I had to do several years ago in therapy was I had to go back and do some, you know, tough work of looking at my life and trying to figure out what it was about toxic people that was so attractive to me. And for me, I think it goes back to childhood and growing up in a home that was just dysfunctional and toxic. And I mean, I think it was just not knowing what a healthy relationship looked like. And so, you know, you really want to work on yourself before you try to get into another relationship. Because if a person who's really good for you comes along and you haven't worked on that part of yourself, it could destroy what could potentially be a great relationship just with your own baggage. And if you can work on yourself and try to figure out, you know, what your core wounds are, it will help if and when a good person for you comes along. It will give you a better shot at a healthy, successful relationship. That's just my opinion. It's not like, I'm not a therapist or anything. It's just how I see it. I'm getting the underside of this little porch thingy. an advanced age. That happens to people. It really does. I think it still happens. So one thing that my mom always told my brother and me was that you don't want to ever be 100% dependent on any one person. Because again, for any number of reasons, that person could just suddenly cease to be a part of your life, and you would be on your own to fend for yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, you're going to be in bad shape. You know, if you've never had to balance a checkbook or put gas in your car or, you know, pay bills, you're not going to know. You're not going to know what to do, and it's going to be a rough time for you. And I feel bad for kids who go off on their own and don't know how to do anything for themselves. I really do feel for kids like that, who have never had to lift a finger around the house. They don't know how to do just basic stuff. When I went off to college, oh my God, I lived in a dorm my freshman year, or for part of my freshman year, and I had to show probably a half a dozen different girls how to wash clothes. They did not know how to operate a washer and dryer. They had never done it. They had no idea how to do it. And one of them, oh God, the first week we were there, she needed to wash some clothes, and she didn't. She took a whole bottle of Dawn dishwashing liquid and poured it into the washing machine. It was like an episode of I Love Lucy. There were suds everywhere. Oh my God. It was horrible. They had a heck of a mess to clean up. And she felt bad, but she said, look, I thought, soap is soap. What difference does it make what kind of soap you use? She said if she hadn't had Dawn, she would have just put a bottle of shampoo in there. Because she didn't have any idea how to do laundry. She had never done it before. So I did. There were 5 or 6 different girls that I showed them how to wash and dry clothes because they didn't know how. I have been doing chores ever since I was a little bitty kid. And one of my chores from the time I was 8 was washing clothes. And I did multiple loads of clothes a week with a very temperamental old washer and dryer. And you really had to learn how to use this thing. It was complicated. And, but so doing laundry was nothing to me. I had been doing it forever. I went off to college when I was 17, so I had 9 years of experience. No problem. So I just wanted to say first off, I feel bad for anyone who has not been taught how to take care of themselves. And parents who do that may think it's fine, but you are not doing your kid a favor by sending them off on their own without knowing how to do just basic things like washing clothes. I guess they just assumed everything would be fine. I don't know. So I showed them how to wash clothes. The first thing that comes to my mind, though, when I think of advice, and again, I'm just a goober on the internet. None of this is financial advice or anything like that. We're just talking. The first thing that comes to my mind is finances and managing your money. So many kids never learn how to manage their money. I have these little drips that are coming down. Their parents never teach them to work for money or to save their money or how to budget their money. They never And so many kids just never learn how to do that. If they want something, they just go to mom and daddy and say, give me some money. And mom and daddy give them money. They don't really get that you have to work for that money. It doesn't just fall from the sky. So there are tons of videos on YouTube and elsewhere about money management, saving your money, making a budget, learning how to balance a checkbook, which I guess is not as common anymore. Or, you have to keep up with how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And you'd be surprised how fast the money can go out if you're not paying attention. Like you think, oh, it's just $5 here, $10 there, but it adds up a lot faster than you might think. And I knew so many kids who went off to college, got these credit card applications in the mail, and got credit cards, and maxed them out, and then couldn't pay them, and they ended up in financial trouble because they didn't understand, that is not free money. You're going to have to pay that back with interest. And they had no idea what interest was. I had a roommate who kept getting credit cards, and I warned her. I said, you are going to have to pay all this money back. And she just, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. It's fine. Well, her mom and dad ended up having to pay off a bunch of the debt because she didn't have any money, and they were mad about it. They were pretty angry at her for getting all these credit cards. But she was over 18. I don't know how she qualified, but she did. I think in the past, this was back in the 90s, I think it was easier to just get credit cards back then. And she just kept getting them and maxing them out and just buying stupid stuff with them, like going to the mall and buying a bunch of clothes, which she didn't need. And but then she couldn't make the payments anymore, so yeah. Be very careful with your money. Also, if you have a car, keep up with the maintenance. I was just talking about maintenance on my vlog channel yesterday and today. I stress this so much with young people because other people might not think to mention this to you. This coat is really doesn't really look like anything. I have to move it to see where I have applied it and where I haven't, because it looks a little shiny where I have. Make sure that you take care of the basic maintenance on your car. Oil changes, tire rotations, keep your windshield, if your windshield wiper blades need to be replaced, you can do that yourself. There are plenty of videos online that show you how to do it. It's very simple. You can do it yourself cheaper. Make sure you know how to check the air pressure in your tires. Make sure they are rotated on a regular basis, rotated and balanced. Doing maintenance work on your car will save you money in the long run. It will make your tires and everything, your tires will last longer. If you get regular oil changes, your car will last longer. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And you can get more money, you can get more life out of your car if you just do basic maintenance on it. You can set reminders on your calendar on your phone if you want to get your oil changed. You can look at the recommendations for whatever you drive, like how often should you change the oil, or find a trusted mechanic. That's another thing I would recommend. Try to find a good mechanic who is not going to screw you over. Now that can be easier said than done, but if you look around and talk to people, you can find a good mechanic. And once you find a good mechanic, stick with them. Just because you get a coupon to go get your oil changed somewhere a little bit cheaper, it may not be a good deal, because a lot of these quick oil change places don't. I'm not talking bad about them, but they work in volume and they don't always pay attention to what they're doing, and they don't always do a good job. have a good mechanic, and he does everything for my car because I trust him. As far as I know, he's never done me wrong. He's very honest. Yeah, when you find a good one, stick with them. They deserve your business. And there are honest mechanics out there. There are. You just have to look for them. Learn how to cook. If you don't know how to cook anything, eating out all the time is going to be very expensive for you. Don't get into the habit of going out to eat all the time. It's extremely expensive. You can cook for yourself cheaper. You can go to thrift stores to get furniture, pots and pans, dishes, much cheaper than going to a regular retail store. Did I do this side? I did. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but don't get dependent on that help. If you're on your own, you are going to have to be on your own. You're going to have to learn to solve problems for yourself. And sometimes people end up out on their own unexpectedly, and they have to learn a lot very quickly. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I struggled. I did bounce one check when I was 18 because I forgot to write something down in my checkbook register, and I had written a check that I forgot about, and for some reason it took a long time to clear. And I ended up overdrawing my account, and I never forgot that experience because I had to pay the bounce check fee, the overdraft fee, and it ended up costing me like $50. And that was $50 I did not have. So I learned my lesson from that, and I never bounced another check. You have to have a budget. You have to prioritize your spending. And I know that's not fun, but a lot of being on your own is not fun. That's another thing you have to keep in mind. You have freedom, but you also have a lot of responsibility. You have to keep up with things yourself. Adulting is not a verb. It is your life now. You are an adult. You do not get to adult when you feel like it. You have to do it every day. It is not a verb. It is what you are. Welcome to the grown-up world. Yeah, parts of it suck, but overall I like it. I don't mind having the responsibility. I've had it forever. You do get used to it after a while. And there's nothing wrong with it, feeling sorry for yourself and having a pity party occasionally, but you can't get stuck there. I would recommend checking out I don't know of any in particular, but I'm sure there are YouTube channels that can help you learn about budgeting, finance, cooking, car maintenance. Take care of your teeth as well. Make sure if you can't afford to go to the dentist, you can look into low-cost alternatives. You can find ways to get dental care at a lower cost. Make sure you brush twice a day and floss every day. That will go a long way toward preventing problems with your teeth. Take care of your teeth, and take care of your car, and take care of your body. Learning to cook means that you can learn to prepare healthier meals for yourself. I can make you a healthy stew that costs roughly the same as a bag of Doritos, like a $5 bag of Doritos. And that stew will last you several days and will give you much more nutritional value than a bag of Doritos. So learning to cook will save you money, and it will be healthier for you. And you can buy stock pots, ladles, pots and pans at Goodwill, at like thrift stores, way cheaper than buying them new if you can't afford new. Oh gosh, so many of my dishes and pots and pans came from thrift stores. I still have pots and pans that came from thrift stores because they're still good. I've had them for over fun all the time either. But my parents always told my brother and me, nobody owes you anything. And it's true, nobody owes you anything. You are not owed an easy life. You are not owed the things you want. If you want them, you are going to have to work for them. Anything worth having is worth working for. Nobody has to give you anything. Your parents don't even have to give you anything. If you're over 18, anything they do for you is they're doing you a favor. I know that's tough love, and it's hard to hear, and you may not want to hear it, but they don't owe you anything. You are an adult now, and I hope that they help prepare you for that. And I really do feel for people who were never taught any basic life skills. I really do, because it is so much harder for people like that to get on out into the world. I don't feel like I really struggled with it that much. I just had to make sure to keep an eye on my bank account, make sure I didn't overdraw it again. I have only bounced that one check in my whole life. I never bounced another check. So, I don't know. I don't have a lot of advice, but that's the advice I have for you. Now I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and then we have to wipe it with a rag. We want to remove that excess linseed oil on here. I got a little bit on my hands, but it's just greasy. I can wash that off with soap and water. So we will come back, and after about 20 minutes, we'll come back and wipe that down. Okay, I am back with this old rag with a hole in it. And we're just going to kind of wipe it a little bit just to get the excess oil off. And I'm going to do the underside, but like last time, I did a coat on the underside, but I waited until this had dried a little bit so I could kind of lay it over and do the underside. There's definitely excess on here. And also, when you're on your own, I don't know what your life was like before you were on your own, but if for whatever reason you're on your own now, your life is going to look different. I mean, that's unavoidable. Whatever your life was before, it is not going to be the same anymore. It is going to look different. Now, it may be better. I don't know. It really depends on your situation, but it will definitely look different. Like, if you had plenty of money before, for whatever reason, to go out and, go out to eat all the time and go out for drinks and buy expensive things, you may not be able to continue that lifestyle now. And again, you can end up on your own for a number of reasons at any point in your life. But you can't always expect to continue living the lifestyle that you had before. Now, you may not have the money or the time or the resources to live like you used to. But the mistake a lot of people make is they expect to be able to continue doing everything they did before in this new life. And that is how you can quickly run out of money. Just, again, be careful of your spending. You need to have a really good idea of what your budget looks like. Sit down and write out every expense you have. I don't care if it's just $2. Write down every expense so you know where your money is going.